goodness. We've been sitting here for 45 minutes and you choose when we say action.
Oh my bitch, you did not say action.
Right.
You did not say action. You saw me putting on my lip gloss. Why in the hell would you click play or whatever the hell button you press?
Because you look so cute and I wanted to share it with the world. How you look putting on your lip gloss.
Can we start the show off right? Oh my God. Guys, we're going to get it right for y'all by episode 5. And I hope, man. Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it.
She of course she could have helped it. She could have said something like action. We're about to start in 3, 2, 1. You know, she's the person that clicks the go button.
It wouldn't be exciting. I wanted
apparently
a dramatic entrance. You always talk about I want an entrance.
Drama. Excitement.
Yeah. So I gave it to you.
Shut up.
What's going on, guys?
Hey.
This is Jodie with Podcast Deez Nuts and my bestie
Wendy.
What's going on?
Hey y'all. Welcome to Podcast
Deez
Nuts. Episode 4.
Hello. All right. So last week we touched on friendships.
We did.
Do you think that the people learned some things and made some changes, or they still in the same fucked up situation?
And watched episode 3, they should have learned some shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely about reevaluating the relationships that you have with people, these friendships, and knowing when it's time to let go.
Right. My best friend made it very clear she has no problem chucking the deuces.
See ya.
Chucking the deuces.
You will not fuck up my energy. Bye.
Absolutely.
See you later.
Yes.
But of course, you know,
friendships. It was about relationships as well.
Exactly. Relationships in general. And of course, when you do have those great, genuine relationships, you want to be able to know how to maintain them as well.
Yes.
Or how to be a better friend.
Yes.
How to be a great friend.
Yes.
To people. So I think you would have gotten that from that episode as well.
Absolutely.
You could check out episode 3 on YouTube.
Yes.
On our channel, The TV Takeover.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. We're also on SoundCloud. We're on iTunes, Google Podcasts, under Podcast Deez Nuts. Okay.
Yes.
And for now, we are not changing our name. Shout out to that person who gave us the lovely advice of, maybe you guys should go by the TV Takeover because that sounds more professional. Do we sound professional to you, motherfucker?
So here's the thing.
But thank you for the feedback.
Appreciate it. Actually, we did take some of the feedback.
We did.
And
I now have this sound shield.
Yes.
I don't know what it's called technically. I think anyway, it helps with the sound, to when you're recording,
take away from the outside
to take away the background noise and everything. So we'll see if this works. And
so
if
I don't have one, as you can see. So we're gonna, when we listen to our recording, we're gonna go back and say, okay, is this a worthwhile investment? If not, you owe us $50.
You owe us $50. Okay.
No, but we appreciate the feedback.
Thank
we really
you.
do. That means you're watching, you're listening.
We do look at the comments. We do appreciate the feedback. So thank you so much for
feedback. Feedback is a gift, bitches.
And if you don't like the name Podcast Deez Nuts, blame Jodie.
So first of all, I have received, there's been about 2 or 3 people that have said to me, I don't know, Podcast Deez Nuts, it doesn't sound professional. And I have to look at them like, bitch, what part of me says professional? Like, I'm not trying to be professional.
Right.
There's nothing professional.
I guess when I think professional, I think work.
Corporate America. Like,
I don't know. Maybe, who knows? Maybe the name may evolve. And the reason why we went with Podcast Deez Nuts, outside of the fact that Jodie came up with the name, usually that's our handoff to everything. Like, look, I don't feel like, what else say? Just throw this shit away. She'll like, throw away these nuts. Get you look ugly. Bitch, these nuts look ugly. It's something that we say. It's something between us that we talk about, and it's just, we always talk about these nuts. Right. I don't know. That's just who we are. And then also, we are little nuts. We're a little nuts. So it felt like it fit. It was fitting. It was fitting. So, we'll see. We'll see how things change. But thanks for the feedback. So definitely leave comments. We appreciate that.
Feedback is a gift.
Yes, feedback is a gift. So we appreciate it. So last week we talked about friendships.
We had a good weekend.
We had a really great weekend. Jodie had a vision board party.
That's my first
annual vision board party.
Yes.
Yeah. And people had on pajamas too.
Yes, it was a onesie vision board party, guys. So I am a firm believer in vision boards. I did my first vision board in 2014, and it has changed my life. And I'm all about paying it forward. So I was like, you know what? I think there's a lot of people out there that could really benefit from the vision board, and not just creating a vision board, but better understanding the logic behind a vision board, and how it can really change your life. So we played some videos, did some encouragement. I mean, the energy and the vibe was just perfect.
A lot of great women. It just happened to be all women here that night. Nothing to do with the fact that Jodie loves to eat cooch. It was just a lot of great, amazing women. Great energy.
I fucking hate her.
Great energy, very inspiring, very inspirational. Jodie is an amazing host.
Oh, thank you, friend.
She talked to us to death. You
couldn't just stop at she's an amazing host.
You're amazing. She had us watch videos, guys. Oprah video, a Steve Harvey video. The videos, at first when she said that we had to watch a video, I'm like, here this bitch go, because she always got to be on team too much. Hashtag team too much. Jodie's on that team. Okay.
That's me.
Okay, but the videos were really great, very helpful. It helped when in thinking about designing the vision boards. It helped when thinking about our affirmations, how we should think, how we should feel.
Yes. The emotions behind it. I think that was the thing that for you stood out the most.
Yeah.
Is the importance of when you look at your vision board, attaching an emotion to how you would feel
when you
once it's accomplished. So for example, if you put, listen, I really want to purchase a new home, think about it. How would you feel walking into your new home that first moment, turning the key, or getting the acceptance letter from the bank, and just actually closing your eyes and allowing your body chemistry to go through that whole motion. So it was highly suggested and recommended. One of the things I added, and I thought was extremely important, is it was one thing to show people the importance of making a vision board, how to make a vision board, but that final video with what to do after the fact, how to make it happen. I think for me that really sealed the deal.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it was really great, very beneficial, very enlightening. If you haven't gone to a vision board party, host one, have one. You don't need to have a vision board party, obviously, to make a vision board, but do it. If you do one, make sure it's in a big venue. It was a lot of fucking people. It was a lot of people's, like, it was glue everywhere. It's glue, glitter, paste, construction paper, boards. Like, I had to get out of there. I was the first person to leave.
Okay, let's be real. And let's talk, because we said we're going to keep it real with these people, right? Let's be real and tell these people the real reason why you left the party early.
Okay, all right.
You had
dick. All right, look.
She had a dick
Sorry, guys. Y'all. My DOD, look. My dick on demand. It was time to go. It was late. It was a late party. It was supposed to start at 7. I figured I'd get there at 8:30. By 8:30, I probably wouldn't even have to do this vision board, because it's the same vision board that Jodie gave me a year ago to make that I really didn't get to making. But that was because I already had one, so I didn't feel like I needed to make another one. So I just took the same supplies that she gave me last year.
Not a good friend sometimes, guys.
I took the same supplies, same magazines and all. Same magazines she gave me, same board she gave me. Just pulled that thing right out of the garage. Shout out to me for being well organized, okay? I went right into my garage, pulled that thing right out, and said, hey, let's go to the vision board party. And I added, some little glitters and
she
stuff like
pasted
that
all of about 6 items, and then she went home to her dick.
It's like 30% complete, but y'all, sorry, the dick was calling.
The dick was calling.
Had to go. But it was amazing. It was still amazing. It was a really great event, and it was great to be around that energy of women. Like, those women were that were there were very inspiring.
We had some powerhouses in the building. Got some powerhouses in the building. Speaking of powerhouses, one of our really, really good friends. AKA the bride.
The bride.
That you guys, for those of you that have followed us or have been following us, you have probably heard us mention her name a couple of times. She is the third installment to this friendship that we have here. So Shanae actually is the owner of Eyes for Glam. Her shop is located in Coral Springs. And, we're on the phone. We have a little group chat, and she's like, guys, I'm really not happy about what's happening. Like, I'm seeing these things on Facebook. I know people personally. I want to do something
about this government shutdown.
So she is Shanae with Eyes for Glam, taking 10% of her services and donating it back to the federal employees. So what's that going to look like? Every single Saturday between 12 p.m. and 6 p.m. at her shop. If you bring your federal ID, Shanae will be giving you groceries. Isn't that amazing? Amazing. So again, between 12 and 6 p.m., you federal ID, you go to her shop. Her address is 7522 Wiles Road, Suite B as in big booty bitches.
Big booty bitches.
107 Coral Springs, Florida 33067. Also, if you wanted to donate to her fund, she's actually calling this the Be the Light Foundation.
Yes.
If you wanted to donate, of course, on behalf of Podcast These Nuts, we've definitely given, and we also will be physically there some of these Saturdays to help to distribute the food.
Yep.
But definitely reach out to Shanae. She is on Instagram at Eyes for Glam. However, it's spelled no. I'm about to be like, it's spelled I. Okay,
it's EYEZZ.
Okay, for the Jamaicans,
guys.
know what we're talking
EYEZ, the number 4, Glam,
yes.
GLAM. She does lashes, she does hair services.
Yes.
So book with her, because know that when you book with her,
you're giving
10% is going back to federal employees to help purchase groceries.
Yes.
And it's such an amazing thing that she's doing, because this government shutdown has gone on for way too long, and it's impacting so many people. I mean, I can't even imagine to be a person who has to go to work every day and not be paid. And we're running into the second week where these employees who are not
it's been almost a month now.
Are not gonna. This is gonna be their second paycheck.
Paycheck, yeah.
Second paycheck coming up that they're gonna be missing.
And we all know government
rough.
jobs don't pay the most, so a lot of these people live from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah,
so
rough.
to not have a paycheck, much less two.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we're talking about even the services we were discussing.
Yeah, there's services, Section 8, food stamps, food stamps, federally funded. How people gonna buy food?
Yeah.
So, we hope that, things can come together and some sort of agreements can be made on this motherfucking wall that he couldn't get Mexico to build as he said he would. Lies. And this damn shutdown, so people are not being negatively impacted in more ways than one. So really glad to see what Shanae is doing. There's a lot of people out there that have been reaching out into helping the community and reaching out, and I'm glad to know that one of my friends is a part of that. And because of what she's doing, she solicited our help, and we will be going down not only to donate but also to offer our time.
Physically be there, absolutely. So Be the Light campaign.
Be the light.
In a world full of darkness, be the light. Shout out to you once again, Shosho. We love you, Shosho.
We love you, Shosho.
We are so proud of you. This is an amazing campaign. It's going to be great. So guys, this Saturday it's going to be the first day. Again, between 12 and 6 p.m. So we see you guys there.
See ya. All right. So let's catch up on our weight loss. So I've been doing really well. In the last week, I've lost 3 pounds, guys. I have been consistent with what I've been eating. So what I'm doing is a combination of 2 things: keto, and also, which is a high fat, low carb program, and then also meal prep. And my meal prep is being done through Hello-itis.
Shout out to Hello-itis.
Shout out to Hello-itis. And what Hello-itis does is she chef prepared meals that are made. I buy a kit of 5 meals each week. Healthy food that tastes amazing.
Yes.
I mean, amazing. She does not skip
legit.
the flavor at all.
She's legit
in her food, like super legit.
Yeah.
So if I'm not eating a Hello-itis meal, then I'm doing something that I'm eating a keto type meal. So 3 pounds in the last week, and also been consistent with working out. I found a program on YouTube that I love.
You working out, bitch?
Yes, I have been.
What?
Yes, I have been. I sent you guys. I sent you and Show. Clearly, y'all, you just skip past that. I sent you and Show links to the videos that I.
Oh, that's what that was.
Anyway,
listen, we have a lot going on in that chat. Like, it's sometimes I get
clearly she's not paying attention to that. So yeah, I am happy. I'm going to stay consistent because being fat is not where it's at.
No, being fat is not where it's at. You better say that shit. Okay.
At least not for me. If you fat and you happy, then do your thing, boo. I'm just saying, I don't want to be fat.
Live your best life. But my best life is not big.
It's just not. It's sad, especially to have lost all my baby weight.
Yeah.
And then just gain it back just because I'm being greedy. It's fucking crazy.
So I am on the Chirothin diet, and definitely it is a medically aggressive diet. So
doctor supervised. Totally different plans.
Not to take away from how well she's doing, because that's actually really good for her. So anyway, I am officially, as of today, and this is my 3rd week into the program, I am 11.6 pounds down.
Yay! That's
so
a
that
lot.
Feels good. You know what? I was telling Wendy, like, I feel really good about the fact that I'm lost 11.6 pounds, but I'm a little bit upset with myself, like, because I allowed myself to get so fucking big. 11.6 pounds. I should be like more than halfway towards my goal. If not, you know what I mean. I should have like a couple more pounds to go. But it is what it is, and I'm not gonna stop. I'm committed to this. It's a really great program. It has become a lot easier for me. And actually, when I'm done with this weight loss program, I'm going to be connecting with Helloitis as well. I don't know if you know this, but one of the things that she actually does specialized plans. So there's one of her clients, she was telling me, is actually trying to gain weight, and she's put us together a special meal plan just for that. So I think I know now that if I was to go to her and say, hey, Coco, this is kind of what I'm looking for, these are the foods that I would like to eat, she would actually specialize it for me, which you can't really get with a lot of meal plans. You just kind of have something to choose from. Now she does have a menu, but that's also an option as well. So she's just amazing. So shout out to Helloitis. So we're doing pretty good.
Yep.
We're gonna stick to it.
We're gonna stick to it.
Skinny bitches by when?
Listen, I'm going to be at my goal weight by April 1st. I have it written all over my house. I
April
will be 135 pounds on April 1st.
And so don't text me talking about bitch April Fools. I was playing.
No lies told here. Okay. All right. So just saying.
So what's our topic today, bestie?
So today we're going to talk about fathers, absentee fathers who may be there, but it really feels like they're not. The title of today's show is "I Wish I Had a Father."
Aww.
I wish I had a father. So I'm talking about it in more ways than one. As I mentioned, it could be that your father was just never there for one reason or the other, or your father may not be there through divorce or separation, or your father could be there, still being married to your mom, or whatever the case. However, just maybe through work or things that they have going on, they're absent because they're not necessarily active in your life. So we're going to talk about the many aspects of what it is to not have a father. And shout out to all the moms out there that are doing the very best that they can. My mom, love her to death. Love her to death. And of course, we know there's another side to this. Of course, there's also single fathers as well. But just talking about something that's near and dear to our hearts, not to discredit those fathers who also have that struggle of raising children without mothers. So not to take away from that at all, but just to talk about our personal experiences, because we both have some perspective to offer on what it's like to wish that we had a more involved father or father that was there. And me particularly, my father in my eyes is what we would call trash. We just gonna go. Listen, we just gonna take it right there. I told y'all I am not one for sugar. No KY jelly. So no jelly is being used here. We just gonna stick it right in and just get right to it.
Noted. Give it to him, friend.
So let me give you some background. I was born in Jamaica. My mom was a young mother. Met my dad, of course, in Jamaica, had me there. My mom came to the States when I was about a year and a half years old. My father didn't necessarily come up. They weren't together. They were teenagers, She came to the States. He eventually came to the States, but we went to Florida. That's where we moved. He landed in New York. And that's where he spent the majority of his time in the United States in New York. My mom raised myself and my sister by herself, because again, he wasn't here, whether it was he was in Jamaica, some other place, or in New York. She raised us by herself, along with my grandparents. My grandparents were very close to us. We grew up with them, were raised by them, to the point where my grandfather, I called him daddy. That's who I called daddy my entire life. And he passed away back in 2013. But that's my dad. That's my daddy, my grandfather. He is everything to me. Everything. He's so goddamn miserable. I love him and miss him. So miserable. Like a lot of some of my traits, I swear, I am my grandfather's child. But, you know, granddaughter. But anyway, so yeah, that was the situation. That's kind of how we grew up. My mom, amazing mother, worked however many jobs she needed to work. We never needed nothing, or never felt like we needed anything. You know, she did everything that she can to make sure that we grew up in a really great and stable environment. Again, along with the backing of her parents, my grandparents. You know, these are people who were also very much involved in our lives in every way you can imagine. My grandmother would take us to Jamaica every summer, just to make sure.
Jamaica every year?
Every summer.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Every summer we went to Jamaica. You don't hear an accent, but that's because it's so funny. When we grew up, my grandmother, like patois, like you couldn't speak patois in my grandmother's house. Like she wanted you to speak very clear, clean English. Of course, English is the language of the land, but of course, you know, Jamaicans speak with the accent called patois. Just broken English. Yes. So you did have to speak very properly. So, you know, carrying on the accent wasn't something that we were allowed to do or speak that way growing up in my grandmother's house. But yeah, again, my grandparents were very involved in our lives, took us to Jamaica. My grandmother took us to Jamaica every year. My grandfather, you know, my license, he took me to go get, you know, my license.
So that really was your dad?
Yeah. Yeah, he was very, very much involved in my life. Even after my grandparents eventually separated, again, still stayed very active, even up until the time that he passed away. I remember he would tell me stories about his love for my grandmother, how they grew up, what their life was like in Jamaica, our lives when we lived in Jamaica, everything that he did, where he worked, things of that nature. Like just about every part of him, you know, he shared. And he definitely had his times. We would talk about how miserable he is. I kind of feel like that's where I get some of it from. But he, shut up, he definitely was an amazing spirit.
He
and
was.
Made sure
I had
that
the opportunity of meeting
taken
him
care of.
the last, I think, year or so of his life, and you know, it was we were still early in knowing each other, so I didn't really understand how close he was to you until after the fact. But you know, he first of all, you guys look a lot alike. He's like a dark version of you,
and we're both short as hell.
But there was definitely. I was very evident that you had a sincere, genuine. I mean, even though you are such a bitch sometimes, the core of you really are a sweet person. But I saw that tenfold when you're with him. I really did. So
that's my little shawty, my little grandfather. So yeah.
So, I mean, so is that not your? I mean, dad? Can you still say that you had an absent dad then?
Well, technically yes. Yeah. My biological father was trash. He was trash. Yeah. Not only did he not really take care of us, you know, in the way that he should have and contribute financially. I mean, don't get me wrong. He did do some things for us. I won't take away from the things that he did do. He may send my mother $100 here or there. You know, I'm 38 years old at this point. You know, $200-$300 over 38 years ain't much, but it's something. When I was in high school, I had my prom. I sent him my prom picture, and he got my prom picture made into a portrait while in prison. How'd I do that? Oh, did I skip that part? He was incarcerated, y'all.
Yeah, he was about that life, huh?
About it, okay.
How long?
I don't know, a long time, 10 years, 15 years. It depends on which story you get from him. It could have been 10 years. It could have been 15 years. Could have been 20 years. Who knows? But he's in jail, locked down for a very long time.
Okay.
That also impacted his ability to take care of us.
You think?
Okay? Yeah. So, you know, parents who are out there not making the right decisions, aren't making smart decisions, whether you feel like you got yourself in it indirectly or directly, whatever the case, he was locked down, y'all.
Yeah,
Okay? So, yeah. So I first met my dad 9 years ago. Because we really didn't have a relationship, right? No, we really didn't have a relationship. Wow. Every now and then we will get jailhouse phone calls. Wow. We used to get jailhouse phone calls every now and then. Life. He actually wanted me to call him Dad back then. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Look, I would just call him by his nickname. I'm not going to say what it is, but I would just call him by his name because Dad, it just felt uncomfortable. Of course. It felt uncomfortable. I think that's an earned name. I was uncomfortable by it. Yeah. But, you know, of course, I had other siblings who felt differently. You know, they really wanted that bond and connection. But for me, it just didn't feel genuine. And even though now in my adult life, I feel like I'm really big on energy, maybe I just wasn't connected to him or his energy because he just wasn't there with me physically. Maybe I needed that physical presence, but for me, it was hard to call him Dad or call him Daddy. Let me ask you
something. Were your siblings as close to your grandfather as you were?
Yeah.
They were?
Yeah.
I only asked that because I'm wondering that since your grandfather kind of stood up and was that dad figure, you almost felt as though that you would be just being disloyal to him, calling someone else Dad, whereas maybe your siblings, because they weren't as close with your granddad, they still wanted to kind of have that attachment or be able to still call your biological dad. I don't know. And it could, who knows what was going on with them, you know, internally, or what it was that they were looking for, what they were seeking. Maybe just really, really wanted that relationship with our father, you know, and did what they could to connect, and maybe calling him Dad or Daddy or whatever was their way of connecting with him. But for me, it felt weird. It felt odd. Yeah. But yeah, I met him for the first time, and I say met for the first time. Obviously, when I was born, he was there in Jamaica. When I was born, however, past leaving Jamaica at 1 year old, seeing him physically in the flesh never happened. Wow. Ever. Wow. Until about 9 years ago. And that happened only because myself and my other sibling, we went to New York and basically knocked on his door. Literally. Didn't even tell him we were coming. We went with one of our cousins on his side of the family and said, we're just going to go to New York, and literally knocked on his door and said, hi, I'm your daughter. Really? That's how that went down?
That's how it went down.
That was really early in our friendship. I think I do remember you going to New York.
Yeah, it was early.
Yeah, but we weren't, you know, as close as we are now for us to kind of have those conversations. Because back in the day, we'd have been...
Exactly. We would have been taken by that whole thing. Like, can you believe, girl, what's going on? Yeah, so we went, we met him in New York.
Go pause. What was that interaction like?
It was cool. You know, it was cool because we really wanted to see him physically, you know. I can't tell you that I remember the emotion behind it all, but, you know, we were definitely very eager to go. We're in a different state, you know, with people who we are not necessarily familiar with. Right. So even that was weird because, of course, me and my sibling, we were close. We knew each other. We were connected to each other, but we were learning this other side of us, this other side of our family. So everybody was cool. He was cool. His sister, her children, everybody. You know, they were for the most part warm, open, inviting, and friendly. Of course, even given the fact that, you know, these are people who we really didn't have a relationship or were very close to. You know, my mom used to tell us or told me about times where, when we were younger, and she would call the house for him, they would pretend that, not them specifically, the people who we went and saw when we were in New York, but whomever he was with or living with at the time, they would just pretend like he wasn't there. Wow. Yeah, there were a lot of instances like that. And my mom did everything that she could do to foster a relationship. You know, she sent him pictures of us when we were young. Like, he has pictures of us, you know, when we were younger. things of that nature. She would call, he would call from the jailhouse, we accepted those phone calls. So she did what she could do, right, to make an effort. However, even after he got out of prison, he never made an effort to come and see us, to look out for us. Again, at the same time, maybe he was limited because I believe he may have been on probation. However, I never got a letter or a phone call that said, "Hey, Wendy, I'm up here, I'm working. Let me send for you and your sibling to come up here and come spend some time with me. I can't come down here, but I come down to Florida, but I want to meet you guys. I want to see you guys. I want to be a part of your life." We didn't get that phone call or that letter, but my mom did get a phone call asking for our social security numbers so he can claim us on his income taxes.
Whoa.
Oh, what the fuck?
Whoa.
We got that call though.
Girl, you ain't spilled that tea. Are you serious?
Yeah. Can you believe?
This motherfucker.
Yeah, so, it was a really crazy dynamic. But again, when we went, knocked on the door, met him about 9 years ago, we went there, open mind, open heart, open spirit to try to connect and rekindle the relationship and do what we can do everything that we can, at least on our parts as adults at this point, right, to try to foster that relationship. And my mother was really supportive of that. Even though she may like call him names or whatever the case, right, still she was supportive of our effort to meet him.
She never tried to block in any way.
No.
You guys can
never tried to block it in any way. So we had an on and off relationship over the last 9 years. He would call, he would reach out normally when he needed something, but nevertheless, he would call, he would reach out. We had some sort of a relationship, I say partly dysfunctional, only because it just felt like I was doing more for him than he was actually doing for me.
So would you say you were disappointed?
Very, very disappointed. I mean, the relationship was really not what I expected it to be. He's cool. He has a cool personality.
Right.
I guess that jail life, or him growing up in New York or whatever, like he's a cool person, right, but he's not necessarily a dad, Yeah. He's not a dad, he's not a father, at least to me. Of course, my siblings may think differently, and of course they have every right to believe and think differently, but for me, he wasn't the father that I wanted him to be. So I was very disappointed. I wanted to have that daddy's little girl moment. Okay. I wanted somebody who I could talk to, someone who I could confide in. Okay. Someone who I could get advice from. My grandfather, he was pretty good at that. Like now, one of the things that saddens me about him not being here is that I'm not married yet. He would always talk to Wendy, when are you gonna get married? Wendy, when are you gonna get married? Have those types of conversations with me about things of that nature. Buying a home, the things like grown up stuff. Right. Things that you want to. My mother is great and amazing. And when I like any major decision or any major step that I take in my life, I call my mom first and I get her advice first for anything, because she's just smart and she knows a lot. She knows a lot about everything. But it would have also been great to be able to call my dad as well, even if we're, not living together, not in the same home, but also to be able to call him and say, hey, what do you think about this? This is what I'm thinking about doing. Or, this, I'm with this guy. He done, just to kind of get different advice, and, different perspectives on life and things that I'm going through personally. It would have been great to be able to do that, but he is not that person. Mm-hmm. He just did not live up to what I expected him to be, or at least what I wanted, I should say. He is who he is, and, and you can't, for the most part, you really can't change people. You can try to influence people, but you can't necessarily change them. He is just not the parent that I wanted. I love mental stimulation. Yeah. As something that I thrive on, and I like to have really great conversation. He just doesn't do that for me. No. He doesn't do that for me. I can't call him and talk to him about stocks like my mom. Right. I can't call him and talk to him about investments. I can't call him and talk to him about children. Right. He ain't raised no kids. kids.
Yeah.
You know, don't get me wrong. He has taken care of his other children that he's had, more specifically the ones that he's had in New York. Your fake bamboo earrings just fell off. The ones that are going from gold to bronze right now fell off.
Whoa.
Sorry, guys. He has.
I felt like I just got attacked in the crossfire because you're a little bit upset about your little dad situation right now.
Wow. My little dad situation. Really? That's.
I just felt like you were coming for me because, you know, you're upset, you're talking, you're really emotional.
No, I'm just saying your earrings.
Are you angry though? Are you angry?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I am angry. You know, like I said, I wanted someone to talk to. I wanted someone to confide in. I wanted someone to get advice from, you know, to feel protected. Like, you know, if a guy were to say or do something, look, I'm about to pick up the phone and I'm about to call my daddy. He about to handle your ass right now. You know, like I wanted to have that, you know, and because I don't, it is, I am mad. I am upset. You know, he came down to Florida to help me when, because like I said, we've maintained, you know, some sort of a relationship over these last 9 years. And when my kid's father passed away last year, I really got to learn what it's really like to be a single mother. It's hard. It is hard, especially when you have children that are active and are doing things that are involved. Like, I never had to worry about childcare. I never had to worry about much of anything. Their dad was very involved in their life. He's a very amazing parent. And I was just like, damn, I was in shock. Literally, I was in shock because it was just a lot on my plate. Even though me and their father talked about what life would look like for me after he left, but it was still shocking.
Of course.
It was still very shocking, and it was really a lot to handle. So one of the things that I thought of doing was asking my dad to come down and help me.
I was excited for that for you. Yeah, actually. I was really hoping that this was going to be a great situation for you.
I really hope so. You know, my mom was behind it. Again, she may talk shit or say whatever she want to say about her baby daddy, but you know, she is very supportive of him coming and him helping, because we saw it and looked at it as another opportunity to connect, to bond, and for him to step outside of himself and do something that he hasn't done before, which is to be a parent. You know, to me as an adult, and also to be a grandfather to my children. And because my kids really had a very active and involved father, my expectation, and you know, my bad for setting these expectations, was for him to come help me with things like cooking. He raves about how much he can cook. Come to find out the nigga can't cook, but whatever. He talked about cooking. My job, the job that I had at the time, I worked very long days, very long hours, 12, 13-hour days. And a lot of times I didn't know what time I was going to come home. So it was good for me, like with my kid's father, he would balance things out where if I didn't know what time I was coming home, he would we didn't even live together. Okay. We lived 5 minutes apart. That's how close we were. Because we didn't want to live too far away from each other, and the kids, like literally, he could ride his bike to my house. Like him and our son, they would ride their bikes back and forth between our homes, and that's how close we lived to each other. So if I couldn't take care of dinner, he would go and take care of dinner from my house. Like he would make sure that the kids were fed, things of that nature. So like I expected my father, and I asked my father to do these things for me, to help me with dinner, to help me with things around the house, to help me with the boys. You know, I thought that like we have a community center that's very close, parks that are very close, that he would have taken them to the park. He would take them to the community center.
You were hoping that where he fell short with you, that he would at least step up with your kids.
He would have stepped up and done that with my kids. But what happened was he came and was somewhat helpful. I won't say totally useless, but somewhat helpful. Not at the level that I expected, not at the level that he said he would be able to deliver on, because I was very clear. And I know myself. I'm very specific. I'm very clear about the things that I want. I said, I need you to cook. I need you to do this. I need you to do that. Can you do these things?
And he said yes.
Yeah, I can do it. Yeah. Are you sure? Because if you can't do it, just stay your ass in New York. Like literally, that's how real I am. And that's how clear I was in my communication about what it is that I wanted to get from him. And unfortunately, it wasn't it wasn't quite that. I won't say that it was nothing. He did help out. He did cook. Cooking isn't the greatest, but he did cook. He did help me around my house. He did help with taking care of things, but he wasn't a grandparent, the grandparent that I thought he would have been. My grandfather was very active in my life, so I know what it is to have an active grandparent. Mm-hmm. He wasn't it. I don't even think he even knows my kids' names at this point. Like, that's he if I say, okay, well, call, he'll be like, oh, the one over there, the little one or the big one. You know, like, he's older. I don't know. Maybe it's his memory. I don't know. But yeah, he don't even know their names. So, you know, that's how uninvolved he was as a grandparent. Like, I would have to force him to get out the house and walk, you know, things like that, much less to even ask or even to think of taking my children to the park or taking them to go play basketball or, you know, whatever the case. These are things that don't even cross his mind. You get what I'm saying? Because it's just not who he is instinctively as a father, as a parent. So for me, it was very disappointing on a lot of levels. I was very angry, very hurt, because I was going through a very emotional time in my life, losing, you know, my kid's father, and I really thought that he would have been able to come and step in, and even if he couldn't have done it for me as a kid, that he would have been able to make up and do it for my children as a grandfather. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. He's gone now. He's no longer here at my house with me anymore. But
so, just to be clear, he hasn't passed away.
He hasn't passed away. He hasn't passed away, but he's no longer at my house because there's just no point. Like, things just wasn't working out.
It was more of a headache for you. It was causing you more work and
more headache, more stress.
Yeah.
And I even confronted him and talked to him about being an absent father.
You did.
And how it made me feel. I mean, crying in tears, yelling and screaming.
Really?
And all he did was made excuses. Oh, I went to jail. I went to jail because of this person and that person. Whether you felt like you was set up, framed, whatever the case is, nigga, you went to jail.
So no accountability.
No accountability for any of the things that happened. You know, he never talked about what he could have done differently as a father. You know, wishing that he would have helped my mother more, wishing he would have been a part of our life. Like, that conversation I needed to have that.
Right.
I needed to have him to recognize the hurt, recognize the pain, because again, I am feeling this way. My other siblings may not feel this way, but I am feeling this way. And because this is my truth and this is my experience and this is what I am feeling as a parent, I wanted him to acknowledge that. I wanted him to acknowledge his absence. I wanted him to acknowledge the things that he could have done differently.
Right.
And because he refuses to take accountability, it just, to me, drives the wedge even more, drives the knife even more, you know, in my heart, and it hurts. It really, really hurts to know that this is someone, after everything and after all the effort that I have made to connect with you, that you couldn't even meet me halfway with just saying, I'm sorry, I could have been a better father, bye.
Right.
Or I could have done this for you, or I could have been better to your mother, bye. You know what I mean? It's just, he blamed everybody. He blamed so many different people for his absence in my life versus, you know, just taking on
saying I fucked up.
I fucked up. Like, it really would have helped.
Excuse, you know, this is my fault. I'm sorry that made you feel the way that I felt.
Yep.
I'm here now, and I know that I cannot make up for lost time, but, you know, let's see what we can do going forward.
Yeah.
And I know, knowing you, that conversation from him would have made a world of a difference.
A world of difference. I'm big on accountability. I'm big on ownership. People fuck up.
Yeah.
People fuck up. Life fucking happens. You know what I'm saying? But for me, if you cannot own up to your mistakes, then to me, you don't see what you've done, and then from there, how do you even make it better? How do you even improve?
Or how do you ensure that you don't let it happen again?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you do? You know, where do you go from there? And, you know, these things have impacts on people in many different ways. So, you know, just in thinking about the topic, and there's a lot of topics, of course, that we want to bring to you guys and talk to you guys about on our podcast. And in thinking about this topic and just looking into it a little bit deeper, you know, it has, you know, women specifically growing up without a father has a lot of impact in their lives.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because so so you know how last week she says, oh, you know, Jodie, you chose that topic. Well, this week she actually did choose a topic. Mm-hmm. And when she initially chose the topic, I said to myself, oh, well, you know, my parents they're still together to this day. I don't know if I can really relate. And it was not until I started to read, you know, some of the effects that absentee dads cause. And I started to say, well, but Jodie, you struggle with probably 80% of the things.
Yeah.
So then I really started to reflect a little bit more, and I'm like, okay, so yes, my parents are still together, but was my father actually present? Was he present? Right. And, you know, the reality of it is my dad, he has a very high-end job in corporate America. You know, with a lot of money comes a lot of responsibilities, you know, and not only that, but we lived in upstate New York, and my dad's commute one way was about an hour and a half. So we're talking about a good 2.5 to 3 hours just in commuting. I didn't really see him that often.
Yeah.
I didn't. You know, there's a lot of times that he wouldn't even make it home for dinner. So I would have dinner with my mom and I'd go to bed. And when I get up in the morning, I may see him. May not. And then on the weekends, he was, you know, playing tennis and kind of living his life. So we lived in the same household, but our lives were just kind of parallel to each other. Like I kind of saw him, but I can't really say that he raised me. There's no lesson that I can really think of that I got from my dad at all.
But you guys do have a relationship, right?
We do now. We do now.
Okay.
And one of the reasons why we have a relationship now is because being somebody that has identified as being, I don't identify as being shit. I like pussy from time to time. But, you know, I am very... take dick. I do take dick. But I am very liberal, and I've been on my own since I was 17. So I had a little bit more confidence. And, you know, when my dad started to go through some personal things... that he didn't feel comfortable speaking with anybody else because our family tends to be very judgmental. He knew that me being the black sheep of the family, he could more open up with me. And that's actually how we bridged our relationship over the fucked up shit in his life that was going on. That's how we bridged our relationship. And, you know, we're here now. But to be honest with you, Wendy, while I'm glad that we have this relationship now, it doesn't heal, take away, or help me deal with him not being there when I needed him the most. Right. So some of the things that kind of stood out for me, I'm not quite sure if you were going to jump into that. Or if you some of the things when we discussed it, women without fathers, self-esteem issues, right? Blaming themselves. Been there, done that. Yeah. Right? Struggling to build and maintain relationships. Yeah. Big. Been there, done that.
That is huge. A huge problem for me. Like huge. And I say this specifically for things related to like isolation, privacy, fear of rejection. These are all things that are very true to me in my life, where there are times where I really, really want to be alone. I don't want to be around people at all.
Sometimes I don't even want to be touched.
Yeah. Like I just want to be by myself, be in my own space. And then a lot of times I'm afraid of trying new things or meeting new people because I'm afraid of being rejected. I just don't like it. I'm sure a lot of people have that fear. Fear of rejection. But yeah, these are things that were going on in my life, and I didn't necessarily attribute it to an absentee father, but these happen to be traits of women who happen to have absentee fathers, or fathers who are not active in their lives, as Jodie experienced.
It's very hard for anyone to soothe me. When I find myself the most hurt, dealing with the most frustration, or just at a very emotional moment, whereas some people latch on, or they need a hug, or they go their day. That's when I want to be alone the most. Yeah. You know, and I thought it was just because I'm a strong black woman and, you know, I can handle my problems. And I'm not saying that I'm not. Right. But in doing the research for this topic, it enlightened me. It really, really enlightened me. Eating disorders. Yeah. Eating to fill voids. Yeah. Could be why we straight.
I don't know. Is that why I'm fat? Can I blame my daddy for being fat, y'all? I don't know.
I'm blaming mine.
I don't know. But again, these are some things that women experience, eating disorders. You know, they're just eating to eat. You know, they feel lonely because there's a void that is not being fulfilled as a result of their father not being there, and they happen to eat. There's women are more prone. Women without fathers happen to be more prone to depression.
Yeah, that was a big one. Because they don't know how. I mean, life will always throw you curveballs. You're gonna have ups and downs. Yeah. And if you don't properly know how to handle them, isolation being one of the areas of opportunity with that, or the biggest things with that. Yep. You avoid healthy relationships, and you find yourself more prone to depression.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
And was medicated.
Hello. You know, these things happen. And just thinking about common traits in general for fatherless children, not specific to women at this point, but being sexually active, teen pregnancy, you know.
That was me. I was pregnant at 14.
Wow.
And I gave birth at 15.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, these things, they stood out. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah. They really did. Yeah. And again, after doing the research is when we kind of took a step back and was like, wow, like I really didn't realize, you felt the emotional impact or the disappointment or anger that came with your father not being there, or at least for me, my father not being there, the loss of that connection. But not necessarily all of these other things, these other traits that come along with it.
Not crime. Realizing that it attributed to that. Because, I mean, you deal with it, right? Yeah. And especially as moms, especially as single moms, we always put what's going on with us to the back burner, right? It's always about the kids. So you just kind of go through life and you deal with these things. You're like, oh, yeah, I noticed I was kind of depressed a lot in 2000 and such. And, you just kind of keep pushing. Right. But you don't really realize it. And again, this word keeps coming up every single show, mental health. Yeah. Checking your mental health, not realizing that these are things that with therapy, and what's one of the things that I committed to for 2019 is aggressively working on getting myself mentally healthier. Yeah, absolutely.
The physical and emotional health and trauma that kids go through, growing up without having both parents, whether it's to have them both in the home, which of course is the best thing to do, but at least to have both of them in some capacity, it really does take a toll. You see things like children growing up without fathers, more prone to poverty, more prone to crime, more prone to drug and alcohol abuse, educational achievements. Like there's so many different things that can happen in a child's life simply by not having their fathers there with them. So the most important thing, if you're going to go out there, you're going to procreate, be 100% involved, whatever that involvement looks like. If for whatever reason the relationship didn't work out, for whatever the case, be involved in your child's life. Mothers be involved, fathers be involved in your child's life, because you never know the impact that it can have on them as an adult. We talked about all of these different things, self-esteem issues, struggle with building relationships, eating disorders, being sexually active at a young age, education, poverty. There's so many different things that can happen when a parent is not involved. So it's really important that we take procreation very seriously. If you're not ready to have children, then you should be having that conversation with your partners and not skeeting in bitches, okay? Stop skeeting out there, y'all. Wear condoms.
But here's the reality.
Take birth control, bitches.
Here's the reality, right? So we've talked about, of course, your own personal experience. Yeah. We've talked about, based on our research, the attributes that tend to surface in people with that. Yeah. Now, here we are, we're damaged as fuck. We've identified that. So then my next question is, okay,
what do we do about it?
What do we do about that? So I actually found some really great, really good article on things that you can do if you are in a relationship with someone that, does have daddy issues. So I want to read them to you. And I think this is something that, I wanted to kind of get your feedback on if you agree or not, if you think this is something that would work, right? So the first thing that they say is, you want to prove her wrong about men, right? So you cannot get upset at her when she makes a comment about how all men are liars and cheaters. Don't get defensive. Instead what you want to do is you want to prove to her in your actions, consistently. The things that she grew up believing are 100% false. Make her see that you're nothing like her father and that good men actually exist.
Yeah.
Yay or nay, bestie?
Yay on that.
Yay on that one? Okay.
I agree.
Don't objectify her. Stop making jokes about how girls with daddy issues are always hot and horny. It's not funny, and it's definitely not a compliment. It's only going to make her feel worse if you poke fun at her. All right? Yay or nay, bestie?
Yay on that one.
All right. Never underestimate her. Woman with daddy issues can still throw a ball and fix a car. She didn't need a strong father figure in her life in order to grow up strong. Her mother taught her everything she needed to know, and she taught herself a few things too. So again, don't underestimate her. Don't feel as though that she's less than or make her feel less than because she doesn't have a daddy. Yay or nay, bestie?
Yay.
Okay. Give her plenty of affection. Now, I'm on the... Maybe because I had some other issues, which we definitely would talk about on upcoming shows, but I'm on the fence with this one because I don't like to be touched too much. It's a little much for me. But what do you think? Give her a lot of affection? Do you need that?
I would say yes. I can understand why you feel that way. Yeah. But I would say yes, because you want to have... The affection helps with building the connection with that person. And who knows, it could be your love language as well.
True. Most importantly, they say never forget to tell her how you feel about her, because that's lacking. Yay or nay, bestie?
Yay.
Okay. Don't take advantage of her. Since she's never seen a healthy relationship, she might be willing to settle for less than she deserves, but that doesn't mean you should treat her like crap.
That's a big
Show her what real love looks like. Let her see that healthy relationships don't involve hours of fighting and years of crying. Yay or nay, bestie?
Yay on that one.
All right. Remind her you're not going anywhere. This is huge. Because you have to remember, we have abandonment issues.
Yeah.
So most of the time, daddy issues and abandonment issues go hand in hand.
And it could be why I am so quick to push people away.
Because you're like, you know what? You're not going to hurt me.
You're not going to hurt me.
I'm going to hurt you first.
Yes.
Because I don't really need you anyway.
Bye.
So
I
bye.
can't.
Yeah. Because that control thing.
Yes.
I think that's where that control thing
I think that's where
it
comes from.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We're finding out some shit.
Yeah.
Don't flip out during fights. If you start tossing beer bottles around the room and cursing her out during argument, she's going to leave you.
Yeah.
This bitch will leave.
I will.
Deuces.
Bye.
She knows red flags when she sees them. Yay or nay, bestie?
Yay.
All right. Don't defend her father. You shouldn't try to justify the fact that her father left her or cheated on her mother. Don't tell her to get over it.
I hate. Oh my God. Ooh, I hate when people tell me to get over things.
No.
Like,
get over these nuts.
Get over these nuts, nigga.
Yeah,
like if I could get over it, it would have been over. It wouldn't be an issue. I wouldn't be feeling the way that I'm feeling if I could just simply get over it.
Right. Nobody
That's
wants
why
to
there's
lament
mental
in this
health
darkness.
issues. That's why there's psychiatrists and psychologists. There's a reason, you know.
Yeah. So definitely don't defend her father and tell her to get over it. Don't bash her father either, though. So a father-daughter relationship can be very complicated, even if he screwed her over completely, and she still loves him.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
You don't want to say anything too harsh about him because he is still her family. And I'm like that with you. I don't know if you noticed, but you know, I'll joke around, I'll say little things, but for the most part, I stay very neutral because at the end of the day, I know that you really do love him. Yeah. And you would, if you could snap your fingers or make a small sacrifice, you would do anything to have him be who he needs to be for you. So I know I'm cognizant of that.
Exactly. But at the same time, I'm not going to take less than what I feel like I deserve.
Absolutely not. Don't push her into anything. Don't be insulted if she refuses to marry you. Because she's worried about turning into her parents. You can still live long lives together without the ceremony and marriage certificates. Those are for the ones that really have a difficult time.
That is true, but don't think we about to be boyfriend and girlfriend for forever, okay? Not happening. Fuck out of here. We getting married, okay? Just saying. Hey, DOD.
Yay or nay on that one, bestie?
Yay.
One thing that actually stood out for me that I 100% agreed on, I want you to tell me if you agree as well. It says that more often than not, fathers are involuntarily regulated by family courts to the role of accessory parents. Yes. Valued for their role as financial providers rather than active caregivers. Yeah. It's all about the almighty dollar. Yeah. Right? When you go to court, it's all about how much money am I going to have. It's not going to be about how much time are you going to spend. Right. What are you going to contribute to? Which activity are you going to be able to assist a child with? Like, those conversations are not had in court. It's all about the almighty dollar. And I thought that was actually a very which is why having a good relationship, co-parenting relationship is really important. That's another thing that we want to talk about, because me and my kid's father had one of the best co-parenting relationships, like, to the point where we're trying to get her to write a book, guys. Like he wanted us to write a book before he passed away. And that's something else that I want to talk about. And it's one of the things that I said is that
I love my kids more than I hated him. Meaning, yeah, we went through things in our relationship. Yeah, our relationship wasn't great, but that has nothing to do with him as a father.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with it. And it's really important that as women, we don't mix the two.
Yes.
Not just as women, but as men, people, we don't intertwine the relationship and all the bad things that happen in the relationship.
Take your feelings out of the whole thing.
As parents, because that has nothing to do with anything and nothing to do with the children. But that's a whole nother show.
It is.
Yeah. So,
but I think it's a great point to bring out, because I think a lot of times, and we've seen it firsthand, where you have women that deny men of being great fathers because they're in their feelings. They haven't gotten over the guy. Listen, I get it.
they mad because he done moved on and got a new girlfriend. We just gonna go ahead and sip some tea.
So yeah. This was good.
This was great.
How you feeling? I was a little nervous because I know this is all jokes aside, a very
still
emotional
very
topic.
Harsh topic, very raw topic, because as Jodie knows, even today, the last couple of days has been just really hard and stressful for me, specifically related to my father and some things that we're going through personally. But I said I wasn't going to go too deep. I wasn't going to talk too much about certain things. I'm tired of crying. These last 2 days I've been crying a lot. I'm like, I am done. I don't feel like crying right now. And I have things to do in the morning. I don't feel like crying right now. And I've had enough of that for today. Like, I was very drained. Almost didn't feel like filming today, because I'm like, I am drained over this man.
Thanks for coming through.
And these things that I've been going through.
Yeah. But you know what? Your experience is going to help other people to heal. Yeah. And I think that for me, I always think about that. Jodie, you sometimes are going through things in life because God is using you as a vessel. Yes. To help other people to heal and to get better. Just like there's things that people are experiencing right now that I'm going to see and observe and learn from that will help me to be able to move on. So
and certainly it's definitely important to beyond it's hard to heal if you're not releasing, if you're not talking about these things and getting it out. Bottling things up is I'm telling you, it's not going to help. I did it for years. It's just now that I'm starting to release and have these conversations about how I really feel. About
angry. You used to be a hothead. You were, at the drop of a dime, you were ready to just pop the fuck off. Literally from 0 to 100. And I will say that over the years, you have calmed down a lot. Yeah. And it's because of that.
A lot. But I definitely know that I do need to, have some mental healing. I do need to sit down with someone and take this a few steps further to make sure that I am really healed. And I definitely encourage everyone out there that are going through situations like this, or know someone who's going through situations like this, to encourage them to talk to someone about it.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I hope you guys learned a lot. Probably learned a lot more about us, who we are, how we grew up, our lives. And stay tuned. Come back for another episode, for another show. Again, as we talked about in the beginning, we are on YouTube.
First of all, we have to tell them what day of the week. We skipped that part.
Oh yeah, every Thursday.
So we are here every Thursday
at 8:30
Eastern Standard Time.
And we changed up the format of the show. We're no longer doing Facebook Live.
But we have watch parties.
But we have watch parties now on YouTube. So the show will air on Thursday, tonight, Thursday, 8:30. We will watch live with you guys, comment with you guys, chat with you guys,
talk shit.
Talk shit with you guys like we did last week. We had a ton of fun participating. So watch us on YouTube. We are on YouTube, on Facebook under the TV Takeover. We're on SoundCloud, Google Podcasts, and iTunes under Podcast These Nuts. So thank you guys for watching.
Thank you so much. So I actually wanted to dedicate this show to Baby Daddy.
Oh
yeah, I think I want to dedicate this show to Baby
Daddy. Now she really
Daddy.
trying to make me cry.
I'm sorry, but Baby Daddy was not only the father of her child. Her son is my godson, and I've known him for a very, very long time. So, Shai, this one is for you. We love you, and thank you for being an amazing dad. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for joining us on Podcast These Nuts. Bye, guys.
Bye.